A bit ago, Doomwolf posted his video of him beating Dark Souls 1 leveling only attunement, and proposed a question of, I wonder if you can beat Dark Souls 1 using just the regular soul arrow. Well, I did in fact actually do that, but all the footage got deleted somehow, or I just can't find it. And then before I had the mentality to do it again, Doomwolf answered his own question. Later on, before the video even came out, I made a joke to a friend about Fireball only in Dark Souls 2 and in Dark Souls 3. But then I proposed if it would even be possible in Dark Souls 1 with only the Fireball, as the only source of damage you have. Well, hey guys, it's me, Mr. Miki, and welcome to the channel. And I want to answer a question. Can you beat Dark Souls 1 with just the Fireball spell for damage? Well, no. Thanks for watching. Oh, you're still here. Well, you see, Dark Souls 1 has 26 bosses, 22 of which are inflammable and 4 of which are also inflammable. But how many of them can actually be defeated if the only spell you're allowed to use for damage against them is the Fireball spell? Let's slightly answer that question. At least 4 of them are impossible with just Fireball. So that means there's only 22 remaining. So how many of those are actually possible? First, let's get into the rules. I can only use Fireball, except for on the 4 bosses known as Quelaag, Ceaseless Discharge, Centipede Demon, and Bed of Chaos. These 4 bosses are 100% immune to all forms of fire, and while 3 of them can still be killed with Pyromancy in the first new game cycle without glitches, Exhibit A on Ceaseless with Black Flame, Centipede Demon with Toxic Mist, and Bed of Chaos also with Black Flame, I opted to allow myself to just kill them however I want because it really doesn't make a difference. Plus, Bed of Chaos and Quelaag are both needed to beat the game without using cheat engine or wrong warps. Rule 2. I am 100% allowing Power Within and Red Tearstone Ring. If you don't know, Power Within increases all forms of damage output by 40% for 100 seconds while taking 1% of your max HP every second. Red Tearstone Ring gives you a 50% damage boost for all sources at 20% of your current max HP. They stack for a total of well over 150 extra damage, or extra percent damage, so they're actually crucial for this challenge. Rule 3. All possible bosses will be attempted. If I can't kill it nor progress any further, the run dies. And finally, Rule 4. I'm allowing jabs against enemies to move them out of the way to get past them. Now, into the run. I decided to start in Blighttown to grab health, as I'm only going to be leveling up like 2 or 3 stats this run, attunement to 16, mainly health, and then a little bit of endurance. I need Power Within and all 3 Fireball spells, hence why attunement's going to 16, it gives me 4 slots, and the rest of my souls are going to go into the glove, health, and endurance. I will not really be showing my stats every 10 minutes, as the health bar and stamina bar are already shown, so you'll see it level up with me. I head out of Blighttown after checking damage on my axe and deciding to go to Andre to level up, as my plan is to kill Quelaag first to unlock Eggy for Pyromancy Glove upgrades. On the way to Andre, I do this really cool evasion and survive the Valley of Drakes while grabbing the Red Tearstone Ring in the process. No deaths occur here, so I decide not to rest. I grab the Grass Crest Shield and evade the Black Knight, and while I could probably kill him, I wanted to play it safe. I pass the Titanite Man and upgrade my weapon at Andre's, then kill the Hammer Knight to make my weapon +3 without grabbing the Firekeeper Soul nor unlocking the shortcut. I don't know why either. I had to come back up here to do this later anyways. After Andre tells me not to do it, I get myself killed, and now I'm back at Blighttown, ready to face Quelaag in her big, juicy, amazing chest. I carefully evade her attacks while swinging my axe at those trees she calls legs, and with enough persistence and yelling timber, even Quelaag gives her final moan and emits white particles. You wish you were me. I ring the Bell of Awakening, get a bone, and talk to Eggy to join the Chaos Covenant to upgrade my Pyromancy Flame with his usefulness. I then proceed to go to Ceaseless, grab this dead woman's clothing, and ask Ceaseless why he can't just turn to a twink demon. Of course, he forgets he's holding onto a ledge and tries to punch me, but instead he falls to his death. I upgrade the glove a bit more and start heading up to Firelink, remembering there's another Firekeeper Soul down here. Then, because I fireballed the enemy, I became a toddler without object permanence, and I continued up to Firelink without the soul. Oh, and to make things even funnier, I clearly go to the shortcut before remembering I didn't unlock it, so I go through the berg. Try to be cool by parrying the knight, then backstep too far off this ledge, and make a total fool of myself. I redeem myself and get into the Taurus Demon fight, where I plan to pull a Firebomb Academy Firebomb throw with Fireball. I miss and end up using 2 fireballs anyways, so it was kind of useless. I get into RTSR range and use the Fireball of the Taurus and get a counter hit? I didn't know spells could even get counter hits in this game, let alone that this attack had such a long opening for one. Regardless, I cross the bridge, I kick down the ladder, and I run past the Drake and the bonfire, get through the gates, through the parish, and down the shortcut elevator. I go back up to free Lotric, kick him down the cliff for his Ring of Favor, and then it's finally on to the guard. I forgot Power Within! Back down to Blighttown, 1 death to idiocy, 2nd death because of that swoosh move, and the 3rd attempt gets me Power Within. While I'm down here, I grab the Firekeeper Soul, then head back up, get a really good RNG on the Balder Knight, only to get molested by 3 autistic clowns. It's like looking in the mirror. The 2nd attempt, I get into the arena and, well, just watch me cope. That's not gonna hit. How did that... Are you really? Oh my goodness. Oh, you are... That's for... Brother! What? Why did I get the... My game's cursed. My game is cursed. I get the Poise Ring and go fight the Gargs again, but this stupid hollow gets in my way. So I quit out and make it through. 1, 2, 3 for the first gargoyle, and 2 for the second, giving me a victory. I rang the bell, bought some important stuff from Oswald, then realized I never increased my flask. You're probably thinking I went and did that, huh? Nope, lower Berg skip. And yes, I do have the basement key. I just didn't go that way. Foxy jump scare. My first attempt at the Capra Demon goes pretty well. If I could even say that. I kinda died. But my second attempt, I barely pulled it off, killing both dogs, forgetting Power Within until at 3 fireballs, I almost quit out, and then I remembered to lock the hell in. And immediately after killing Capra, I went to Laurentius and saved him. Then I homewarded back and bought the 2nd copy of Fireball. But I was left at level 9 of 10 required for Pyromancy's levels to get the 3rd copy from Quelana. So I did it. I went to the catacombs, killed this Pyromancer, got trick-shotted by a skeleton, so I had to go back, go down, and had a scare. And now it's time for Pinwheel. Oh, he's dead. What mask do I get? Take a guess. It's the child. It's always the child mask. I don't know what you want, man. And I decided to grab the Silver Serpent Ring only for this Black Knight to just appear. No, look at this. One frame he's not there, the next he is. So when I went to Homeward, he got me. Me with 22,237 souls, there in the Tomb of the Giants. I wasn't going to let that slide, so I go back with a Ring of Sacrifice and die before grabbing my souls. So, they're lost, right? I can't risk going down and keep the same... No. Do you know the meaning of hubris? The fault in every man, woman, and child? The downfall of your mind's focus. Why would I sit here and let my souls be lost? I wanted them back. I earned them. So I journeyed. I climbed down the catacombs. I went through the coffin of Pinwheel's arts and crafts, into the darkness, the tomb in which giants lie. Not even they would stop me. I passed the Skeledog and made it across the coffins. And finally, with my pride in my hand, ego higher than ever, no lantern to see, there they were. My green soul lighting up the area I died. And I grabbed them. Then I homewarded back, and hey, look at that, my Estus is upgraded. Nice. I upgrade my Pyromancy Glove to +10, then visit this hot chick in the swamp and get my 3rd Scroll of Fireball, which is all that's available in Dark Souls 1. 24 casts, 36 with the Dusk Ring. Unfortunately, I don't have the slots yet, I forgot about it until now. So, let's go kill another boss, shall we? I go down to the depths and attack the Gaping Dragon. No, I didn't kill the spell guy, he's still shooting his spells. I forgot. So, I deal 500 damage on his head, and that's where my damage is going to have to go, so I can actually kill him with 15 or less casts. Also, did you know you can keep hitting his head after he's charged? Darkplane pointed out to me. So, of course, after careful playing, and, dodging some stuff, I fell the Gaping Dragon. And I also did the slowest ring swap ever. But then, 30k souls entered my inventory. So after leveling up, I went to the asylum where I started this journey, and carefully planned out how to kill the Stray Demon after seeing its health barely even budge. Taking hits to put me into super mode with Power Within RTSR, I made sure to always get one off and then heal. it's very much necessary, otherwise Power Within would probably kill me. Then, once Power Within wears off, I stay in RTSR range until the Stray Demon is finally defeated. I get some cool parry fireballs in Black Knight, and oh my goodness! Did he drop Mesoscale merch for my two friends, the Mesoscale podcast? Shameless friendly plug here. My friends CW and AL Sanders started a podcast where they read stories from not-so-known authors. These authors typically being from the subreddit Tales from the Creep or Mesoscale podcast. Both will be in the description linked below. They even released merch, including my very own story character, the Goose Shark, or, as AL has called it, the Sharkoose. And yes, they have big back size for us big backs. Personally, when I do these challenge runs, I have the Dark Somnium, Mr. Creepypasta, Creepcast, and many other different story podcasts playing, as it makes these runs feel faster and not seem as repetitive. I also listen to them when I'm at work at my real job, and I talk to these two frequently. I really do love them dearly, and they give good feedback and don't put authors down. They encourage others to write while having one or two books published themselves. So, if you like listening to stories, or if you like writing them, I highly recommend giving them a watch. And I have 2 stories they've read. I won't spoil which episodes they've read them in, just look out for an Easy Chair 542 in the descriptions. Shameless plugin, you can also find my stories I've written by checking the description of this video, or checking out my channel banner. If you've wanted to write a story yourself, and never really had the chance or drive, they started these author interviews from some people that they've read stories from, and it might help your drive come to life. With all that being said, this non-sponsored segment is over, and we're back to the video. We grab the doll for Priscilla, of course, and head back to Firelink to prepare to go to the Iron Golem, since I don't think there's any bosses left I can kill with 24 fireballs. Apart from the Moonlight Butterfly. But I had forgotten about it until I started writing this part of the script. Because I do these sessions piecemeal due to work, it's only possible to keep up with what I can say by writing it down immediately after a session. Typically my sessions last 2 hours, and of course I add on to it more, going in depth as I feel and correcting some mistakes. The more you know. So of course, I kill Andre. Then I kill the Titanite Demon. And of course, I turn the butterfly into a Dark Souls 2 Flame Butterfly. It doesn't take too long, as the butterfly kinda just floats down. I proceed into the basin, as I still have 2 things I kinda want to get. The first thing is from the Hydra. After a couple of headshots, eventually it dies and gives me the Dusk Crown Ring. And the Dusk Crown Ring is a very special ring. It gives me 50% more casts, bringing my 24 casts to 36, however, the cost is half of my max HP. This isn't a bad thing, if I stay the course of getting good, that is. But the next item is Dusk's Crown, which, once I kill this golden golem, it drops Dusk. Then I go over here, summon Dusk, go back to the crevice, and boom, there's the crown and the rest of her armor set. The crown increases magic damage output to opponents and magic damage taken by opponents. So if I hit something with magic while wearing the magic crown, and they hit me with magic, we're both going to do more damage to each other. It's very useful against bosses that don't use magic, and a little useful against bosses that do use magic. But since only a few bosses use magic-based attacks frequently, it's not too much of a dissuasion to use. So it's probably going to be on the entire run. Also, once again, as per usual now, the entire playlist for every second of the run can be found in the description below for those who want to see the full entire thing played out, but please note it is only ever game audio, as I normally do this audio afterwards. The next thing we do is free Griggs for a second item. Oh, the first item was the Dusk Crown headpiece, not the Dusk Crown ring. The Dusk Crown ring is an option, but it's not something I feel will really get a lot of use this run. Griggs, though, once at Firelink, will sell me the Bellowing Dragoncrest ring, which increases sorcery spells, but it works for pyromancy spells, because pyromancy evolved from sorcery. Well, fire sorcery. I think that's the lore if I remember correctly. Someone correct me on that. And now, I decide to head back to clear one more boss before the Iron Golem. Sif the Doggo. The Jumpy Dog isn't too hard to kill when you put all the buffs and magic increases on, so after a few balls, Sif goes down to the farmhouse down the road. They're still alive, I promise. Don't worry, we can go visit them tomorrow. Or next year. I decide to take on Ingward. But first we do the Mean King way of getting through the ghost house. Then burn Ingward for the seal. Open the seal, and just for fun, we go into the Four Kings boss fight, and where I wait out the Transient Curse. Since you can't use Power Within while the Transient Curse is active. Fun fact, technically the Dusk Crown ring is more powerful than the Sorcerer ring, due to the fact it's mathematically 50% more damage due to having 50% more shots. versus 20% more shots overall in the form of raw damage. I'll put an advanced thing on the screen for what I mean. Anyways, I get the 4 kings to about half health, proving it's technically possible, but I don't want to try 200 times due to skill issues. So I leave and go to Sen's Fortress. Through Sen's Fortress, I die to the trap I set off, embarrassing myself of course, and then make it to the bonfire on the next trip. From here, we forget to go grab the safety key, and decide we should kill a boulder giant and then deal with the Iron Golem. In the Iron Golem's fight, it doesn't take too many hits before we finish melting him down very quickly as my fire melts steel beams and limbs. To Anor Londo we go. What a beautiful place. But I'm not done with what I want, so I rest at Anor Londo Bonfire and then reverse my way all the way down to Blighttown to upgrade my Pyromancy Flame to Ascension +1 for Ornstein and Smough. I homeward back, head down the elevator, ignore the gargoyle, cross the rafter with an amazing jump, get the rotunda down, and then die in the worst way to Anor Londo archers. No, I didn't roll off the edge. What do you mean? I go back to the rotunda, I kill the gargoyles, make my way through Anor Londo archers, grab the bonfire that's in the empty room, and now it's on for ONS. Ornstein goes down in 3 hits, which isn't too bad. I was expecting a longer fight. But Smough wouldn't stop freaking charging me, almost causing me to lose the first attempt. So I took it slow and attacked carefully, and finally burned the fat right off of him. And my reward is this giant, sweaty bra from Guinevere. Why'd they even put this in the game? My first order of business is warping to go to collect a couple of things. And by that, I mean upgrade my Pyromancy Flame again. After all that's said and done, I go grab the ring for Gwyndolin, and then fight Gwyndolin. Turns out my hands are too hot for this twink and it finishes him off with ease, which grants me access to maxing my Pyromancy Flame. Very nice indeed. I go back to the 4 kings and have a skill issue. I'm not saying more than that because it's very sad. Thankfully, on my next attempt, after having a very bad night's rest, I got the courage to go back to the Abyss and conquer the 4 kings. It only took me too many tries. I then go back to Anor Londo, and I try to set fire to a painting, only to be sucked into a cold snore area. Thankfully, I have a fireball and can warm the residents. And by residents, I mean this beautiful dragon girl, who gets shy and goes invisible until I burn that shyness out of her. Into the demon ruins. I kill this bug, and I forgot the lore vessel. Let's place that down, shall we? Back to the ruins. I murder the stray demon's older brother. It doesn't take too many fireballs, as thankfully this isn't one of the 4 bosses I mentioned. However, the next one will in fact cause me trouble. Here's the proof that Fireball does nothing to the Centipede Demon. If you're wondering, no, I never upgraded my hand axe past +3, so I spent almost 10 minutes fighting the Centipede Demon just to kill it. I get stepped on a huge number of times, Miyazaki wishes he was me, and I did get the fire ring to fight him after dying, unfortunately, so while I spent 10 minutes killing this overgrown bug, it genuinely felt like an hour. Onwards through Lost Izalith, I first try the Bed of Chaos. No deaths taken, quit else worry must of course, but one final punch, now one final punch, the bug goes to bed, and the chaos is in my head now instead. Unfortunate. Down into the Tomb of Giants next for the 3rd Lord Soul. I thought Nito would give me issues because I decided against the dual sneak rings this time, and I wasn't using Divine for skeletons for obvious reasons. But I overestimated Nito, and after a few fireballs, and Nito killing his own troops, thank you Nito, I fired the Gravelord at his job and got the soul I needed. Next up is Seath. First, I kill the 2 boars, then kill the Crystal Golem for the DLC access, and then Seath kills me. Now then, here's something funny I didn't know until my friend Darkflame showed me. You can actually warp from this bonfire if you go outside the cell. It's really funny and kinda useless, since, like, I need to be here to get through the archives and kill Seath anyways, but it's good for something, I guess. And by something, I mean when I get cursed in the challenge runs with Darkflame and have to go and buy a Purging Stone because I didn't prepare beforehand. No, I'm not seething. I'm malding. Thank you. On to Seath. It takes 7 fireballs to kill him. However, the first attempt, a clam killed me. I got the clam slam, and it wasn't very fun. I don't like Red Robins anymore. But that's the 4th Lord Soul down, and it only leaves Gwyn and the whole DLC. We get door-dashed into the DLC, and the first boss we encounter is the Sanctuary Guardian who dies a fiery death after nearly killing me himself. A close call for both of us. Well, mainly for me. through the Guardian, and finally to Artorias, who wallops me. I will first try every single DLC boss, simply put. And if I don't, this clip is going to play over the first death. And if I do, well, you won't ever know. Or will you? The second attempt goes a lot better, as I am victorious this night. I meme roll down for the crest key, kill all the citizens in my way, and unlock the shortcut, and proceed to kindle the township bonfire before first trying Manus. Manus' boss fight was actually one of the few bosses I was expecting to fail at a lot due to the fact he has 6600 HP. I thought he had a high fire resistance, but it seems it wasn't high enough. Thankfully, after being very careful and only attacking when absolutely sure I can get a hit, I light the Father of Abyss on fire and succeed in stopping his lineage, and then I kill Dusk. Alright. Calamite. This black dragon gave me the most trouble I think any boss in this run can give me. I thought this boss was going to be piss easy. First, maybe second try, easy victory here and there. I thought because Manus was easy, Kelly would be nearly no different. But after 12 sadly made deaths to his overgrown lizard, I realized I would need a hefty getting good session. I tried so many things. I tried Power Within with RTSR. I tried Power Within with the Duskcrown Ring. I tried no Power Within and only Fireball. And eventually I gave up for the night as it was 3 AM, which is an hour and a half past my bedtime for the day since I had to get up early anyways. I fell asleep, went to work, and came back. And this part will be in the video, this specific part. I told a coworker at work, well, of course, it's a coworker, that I will do this the first try after coming back, because my last session, I had to just stop because it was like 3 AM, and I normally try to go to sleep at before 3, typically before 2 if I can, because I work 2 PM to 11 PM, and it takes me a while to get up in the morning. So, this is what's going to happen. I'm going to fail. But I'm going to try. This will, and obviously, I'm going to do first try. And if I don't, well, you'll see the death message. Or will you? 21 attempts. It took me 21 attempts. The only thing I could think of at the time was RTSR, because I didn't think anything else would be possible. So, doing RTSR to kill Kelami, I was genuinely starting to believe that I couldn't do it. I was about to give up and say, yeah, it's possible, but difficult. I was going to leave it down and say, if someone can do it, go for it. And then, tag me in it. But I did it. Fun fact, it takes 34 fireballs, being buffed with Crown of Dusk and Bellowing Dragoncrest Ring to kill Kelami. You could lower this to 25-ish with Power Within. I could have played it safely the whole time, but I didn't. This boss took me so long to beat for absolutely no reason other than skill issues, but it was still possible. And eventually, after all that's done, it was time. I went to Anor Londo. I grabbed the Iron Tarkus set because I knew Gwyn would be a little bit of an annoyance. But upon equipping the armor, I factored. So I got Havel's Ring before making the Lord Soul Soup and making it to Gwyn. And honestly, this was the first attempt. Yeah, Gwyn actually did not take as long as I thought it would. It was a first victory attempt, which is very rare for me in these ones, since I suck at Gwyn. But it's over, and in less than 7 hours in-game time. My record is still 5 hours, but hey, 7 ain't bad. And the fact that, like, almost 2 of those was just Calamity is kind of crazy. But I want to thank everyone who watched this video. It took me a bit longer to get out due to me working such late hours. I work 2 p.m. to 11 p.m., sometimes 12 to 9, and having other adult responsibilities. I thank you a lot. I make these videos mainly for myself and friends, which is why I don't say the usual S word that I'm still not going to say here, that every other YouTuber says. Honestly, you all watching this is all I really care for. I do hope you enjoyed it. I have a few other runs in progress and almost done, and I hope one of them finishes up soon. But until then, throw fireballs at random Dark Souls bosses. Most are inflammable, while some are also inflammable. And leave a comment on a run you think would be fun to start. I have quite a few in the mind myself, some involving spells almost no one uses, but I'd like to hear what you all have to say. Take care everyone, and stay safe my fellow kings and queens of the internet, and of the fire. Have a wonderful day.